Every single minute, the Amazon rainforest loses an area the size of 3 football fields long. The Amazon matters not only to people and the citizens of Brazil, but everyone worldwide. It regulates the climate, it protects biodiversity, and it supports indigenous people and indigenous life in general. I've looked at 3 peer reviewed sources and studies, and they have revealed where we're headed in terms of climate change regarding the Amazon rainforest. So, human driven deforestation is speeding up, pushing the rainforest to a dangerous, quote unquote, tipping point in which it's wiping out species and it's endangering us humans as well. Today, we'll look at deforestation trends, climate change, and biodiversity loss in the Amazon. So firstly, we'll take a look at deforestation rates. And according to a study done in 2021 by Silva Jr. and many others, satellite data was collected from 2008 and it was compared to satellite data that was collected in 2020. And according to this data, in 2020, it was the worst year in a decade for deforestation. There was illegal logging happening as well as illegal farming, which has just completely surged in not only Brazil, but in other areas that also call the Amazon rainforest home. Additionally, protected areas that are specifically laid out and mapped out by the government have been completely logged and just completely deforested and have been replaced with farms instead to increase agriculture and overall GDP for the country. So they're essentially comparing these 2 studies from 2008 to 2020, and they're seeing a drastic difference in terms of the deforestation rates. Now, the reasoning behind all of this is because the laws that are set in place by the governments that host the Amazon rainforest, primarily Brazil, are just not enforcing the laws that are set in place, and forests are at a complete loss and it's spreading super, super fast. But this is not just the trees that we're losing. This has a major, major climate consequence for all of us around the world. And we'll take a look at that next. Next, we'll take a look at this thing called a climate, quote unquote, tipping point. And in a study that was conducted in 2018 by Lovejoy and Nombre, climate models show that there is a specific danger zone, about 20 to 25%, that have been deforested in the Amazon rainforest specifically. Now, according to Lovejoy and Nombre, this could flip the rainforest that is completely lush and growing at such a great rate to a dry savanna, which is a complete climate change in general. And this climate change from the rainforest, the lush rainforest, to the dry savanna climate could be irreversible, and it could have a major global impact as well, not just in South America. Now, there's been less rain, more CO2, and that's overall contributing to a hotter planet. Now, since there is a hotter planet overall, crops and water supplies now, not only in South America, but all over the world, are at an entire risk of running dry. And while the climate not only suffers, the Amazon and the living species are disappearing too. So we'll take a look at, okay, that's one. Next, we'll take a look at biodiversity loss, like we spoke about earlier. According to a study done in 2016 by Barlow and many others, fieldwork there's been plenty of it done on plants, birds, and insects, display that we are losing these species at an alarming rate. Now, human disturbance doubles the species loss. So it's an exponential loss in terms of the insects, plants, and birds specifically due to the human interference in the Amazon rainforest. Now, even when the forests look okay and we're not necessarily losing so many trees as what we think, or the Amazon is such a grand area that it doesn't look like we're losing much of that rainforest in terms of land mass. There's road pollution, noise pollution, and just pollution in general that is pushing all of these species out. So it may not look like we are disturbing a huge habitat, but this habitat, keep in mind, is so concentrated in the Amazon rainforest, and it's not found in many other areas around the world. So these species that depend on this habitat are losing a lot more than what we consider when we just look at it from the outside. Now, some areas still have trees, but they are completely empty of life due to the human factor and human influence. Now, the forest health is more than just the tree cover in general. So the forest depends on these plant species, these insects, and the birds specifically in order to thrive. And without these insects, birds, and plants, they are unable to thrive, and essentially the rainforest is just completely at a loss and no longer going to continue to grow. So overall, let's wrap this up. We've seen deforestation rising at a super fast pace. We've seen the climate, quote unquote, tipping points getting closer and closer to turning into a savanna type of climate, as opposed to the lush rainforest that we've been so used to over many, many years. And we've also seen the biodiversity in terms of plants, insects, and other wildlife decreasing and vanishing overall. Now, if we keep losing the Amazon at this rate, future generations won't inherit a forest. What they're going to inherit is a warning that is way too late, and they are going to be unable to do anything for it. So it's up to us to make a difference moving forward.